You now rocking with the best, your boy Docs Forever.
And I'm Jameson Beverly.
And you are watching the Engineer's Corner. Welcome back to today's show. This is the Engineer's Corner. And today we got a guest in the building. More so like, family, part of the Move Media situation. You know what I mean? I want to introduce, let him introduce himself.
What's up? I'm Jameson Beverly. You can call me JB. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. Been engineering, for quite a while now. And I'm blessed to be, rocking with Docs and the whole company. I respect Move Media. It's a dope vibe.
Yeah, when I first met JB, he came through the studio to do a mix for a friend of mine, and I always like to listen to what engineers do, because sometimes, most of the time, I'm very disappointed. So it's like, all right, whatever. But JB came to the studio and he did a mix. And he made me think of something that I think engineers or any musician can relate to. I feel like everybody has a sonic art form in terms of creating their music, right? So I feel like, as an engineer, you have your own style, just your own art form to create the type of sound that you want that nobody else can really replicate because it's your style. And that's the one thing that stood out to me about JB when he came through the studio to do the mix. I heard a certain style and a certain art form in the mix. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like the regular mix that you usually get when you listen to amateurs. They pretty much do the same thing, but it had a sound sonically to it. And from hearing that, I could tell that there's certain people that have a certain drive and passion for the art, and that's what I think we're talking about today. A sonic art form. I feel like engineers have their own sonic art form and sonic identity that they put into every track. And I just wanted to talk to JB about that. I'm like, what do you think from that standpoint, from me explaining it like that? Mm-hmm. Can you pretty much define or talk about your art form in terms of like the type of style that you aim for in your mixes?
Well, see, the first thing that comes to mind would be my approach is more so about at least 80% more feeling, all about capturing and being able to convey a feeling over kind of, instead of overthinking or it's just like, because I guess that's usually the greatest energy to work with like, that's what pushes the art out, is the feeling of it. Then it's like I think about all the rules and regulations to what we do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're trying to say you go, rather than thinking about like technical stuff from the beginning, like any type of move or plug-in or adjustment you make is pretty much more so about how it feels. Right,
and how it makes me feel.
So there's no specific...
Or the artist I'm working with.
But there's no rules that you follow? Like, with me, I know I take the low end out of a lot of vocals, or mostly everything. I take...
Okay.
Yeah, is it certain things like that?
I found myself... Exactly, I do that, but I found myself... I figured out why I do that though.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I do it because I want to be able to feel the bass in my actual 808.
Yeah.
Or like, I guess it's just a different thought process.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But the way it's like, because like at first I learned to do that, but I never like had a explanation, like that. It's just like I did that. Like people used to say, cut your bass at 40 hertz. Oh, Diplo, cut your bass at cut your something. So I just did stuff. But then when I actually just like over time, when you hear other engineers say stuff like there's no rules and stuff, I think that's more so when I started just like it's like the experimentation, and when you get like I don't know, it's like you form a relationship with the grittiness of just one plug-in.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just I don't know. It's just as long as it's that vibe it gives, you know. And then like I said, outside of that, of course, I'm not trying to blow the speakers. You know what I'm saying? Like then definitely, you know, and vocals not trying to be way like you want them in your face but still blended in. So of course there's like standards that I do follow with that, you know. But
more so is more so feel based.
Yeah, but I will say at the same time, sometimes I will, like with clipping, I'm one of those people. Like I know back in the day they pushed them boards.
Facts.
And
they did push the boards.
So it's just like there's certain things certain rules are made to be broken, and some that you have to.
I personally don't believe in rules. I feel like in mixing, like if it sounds good,
But
if it don't, like if I go to a vocal, and you know I take some low end out at, what's 660 at the low, what's the low end part? I forgot, 300 hertz.
Yeah.
Around there, like around. You know,
anywhere.
I'm bad with the numbers, but that low end part of the vocal, if I take it all out and this shit don't sound right, I might put some low end back in.
Exactly.
It's just I don't know. Maybe the person
and that's
got
the feeling part. That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm saying with me. That's what I'm saying. Like that feeling part
got to be real.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What if the person got a squeaky ass voice? Yeah. You know what I mean? And you gotta add some bass. Like you feel me? Like. It's not that parameters don't work with every single thing. And I feel like the engineers that stand out and separate themselves are the people who have that idea about music. Like once you start going to school or following these little techniques that everybody says you have to do because you think you have to do it, that's when you sound like everybody else. You feel what I'm saying? I don't think that you can have a sonic art form if you follow the rules. You feel me? Because then you'll
be like the rules.
Yeah, you'll be the rules.
That's
so
your ceiling.
Yeah, you're not really listening to anything. You're pretty much listening to what people tell you to do. And you know, I feel like the best engineers or the people that I listen to that really inspire me are sonically creative. You know, so they don't the low end or the high end or the mids, they play with those until it feels right. You know what I mean? And that's what I noticed that really stood out to me about JB's mixes. You know what I mean? JB's worked with a lot of people too. Like when I first met him, he's so like laid back and shit. Like you wouldn't even know that he's like a super duper engineer. You know what I mean? You want to tell me some of the people you work with?
Yeah, like I'll say like my favorites. My favorite session was like with Marlon Wayans, and then is the guy Pops. His name is John Witherspoon, right?
Yeah.
John Witherspoon's son. He's pretty cool. He had to do some voice acting. That was a fun session. At the engineer Ghostface. That was pretty dope. I would say Master P. That's kind of default, so I can't not mention Master P.
Yeah. But I don't want to. I don't want you to name drop everything.
No.
Yeah, but
that's.
But I just like he's like I don't want people to think that the name solidifies you.
Right, exactly.
The music's the what you do and what you're able to do solidifies you. But at the same time, you got to call a spade a spade. Like who you work with in the game kind of helps you, kind of pushes you above the rest in terms of status. That's true? Like say if somebody worked with Jay-Z, they could be like a trash engineer, but if they say I work with Jay-Z, it is true. that,
in the business,
like, you feel
that's what sucks.
Yeah, that's what sucks. Like, you know what I mean? But that's just the game. That's the game of engineering. You feel me? Like that's why I feel like when you got to work from the bottom, like us, because that's what we doing. We working from the bottom. But we're really appreciated from our clients and the people that deal with us because we have this passion and drive for the sonic art form. And I feel like I wouldn't want to work with somebody that has this big name and not learn nothing from it just for a name, because this one I'm not bringing nothing to the table now. Now I feel like we personally can bring something to the table with anybody we work with, because we've developed the sonic art form of even our workflow and our sound. So yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that's what today was about, man. I just want to touch base with y'all and let y'all know, think a little deeper in terms of your mixes. This is my opinion, and develop something that's all about you or your own sound, rather than following all the rules all the time. It's good to follow rules, certain things, and try them out. But if it's not working, then be creative. Don't be afraid. There's no plugin that says don't do that. There's no plugin that says as soon as you go there, the alarms start going off and it blows up. Nah, like so. Don't be afraid to push the limits for what you do, and test it out, and listen to it when you leave and see how it feels. You know what I mean? And I want to thank JB for that, for coming through for that episode. You know what I mean? That's our session today with Engineer's Corner. Thanks for watching. Deuces. I'm a young country boy born in Tennessee. I can make your mind focus on reality.